So today I'm talking about burn the boats. I think this is an often used phrase that is pretty much misunderstood. So you see these business leaders oftentimes will come out and say, "We're going to burn the boats," which I think what they mean is that they really mean it. Like they have a lot of intent behind it. That they want you to know that they're really committed to their new campaign or their new initiative. But in the realm of business leadership, burn the boats is misconstrued. The original concept, I believe, came from Sun Tzu, his work, Art of War. Now, I went and researched the passage that this comes from, and I read the passage carefully today, just to find out what was it that this guy meant by this. And so let me read what he said. At the critical moment, the leader of an army acts like one who has climbed up to a height and then kicks away the ladder behind him. He carries his men deep into hostile territory before he shows his hand. He burns his boats and breaks his cooking pots. Like a shepherd driving a flock of sheep, he drives his men this way and that, and nothing knows whether he is going. So there's two concepts here that come out clearly. First off, it's the leader that's burning his boats and kicking off his ladder and smashing his cooking pots. The leader is all in. The leader is creating no way for the leader to go home until victory is assured. So the leader is putting themselves into a very desperate situation. Secondly, the leader is not being entirely transparent about what they're trying to do. Now, transparency is important for the army and for people to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. But exactly how they're doing it, what strategy they're taking, what tactics they're going to be doing, and what approach they're going to be making, and what the enemy's weaknesses are, that may not be the best thing to over communicate and ask for feedback from. Because you don't want your army disjointed. You want them desperate and following you. And so desperate, in fact, that they have no other choice but to follow you because you're the only salvation. Now, this may not be what you want to do in business, right? There may be ethical considerations. But before we throw around the phrase burn the boats, maybe we should really understand what the impact of that is, right? He further says later on in the same passage, throw your soldiers into positions whence there is no escape, and they will prefer death to flight. If they will face death, there is nothing they may not achieve. Officers and men alike will put forth their utmost strength. Soldiers in desperate straits lose the sense of fear. If there is no place of refuge, they will stand firm. If they are in a hostile country, they will show a stubborn front. If there is no help for it, they will fight hard. So, yeah, by burning the boats, smashing the cooking pots, and sending them directly into hostile territory where they have no other choice but to fight, then they become the most courageous. They become really willing to fight hard because their backs are literally against the wall. And they are capable of doing things that you never thought possible. So how many times, or here's a good question, how many times has a leader, or even yourself as a leader, been willing to actually go that far where you have no other recourse? If this campaign is not successful, then everything fails and nobody has a job, including yourself. I don't know too many leaders that have been willing to do that. Most leaders that I've ran into are hedging their bets. They're burning everybody else's boats, but they're not burning their own boat. And that's an interesting concept. It may perceive to be an extreme, but this isn't about convincing your team to commit. This is about getting everyone, including yourself, to transform their perception of the situation to one where the fear of failure is overshadowed completely by the necessity of success. He concludes with, It is the soldier's disposition to offer obstinate resistance when surrounded, to fight hard when he cannot help himself, and to obey promptly when he has fallen into danger. A lot of leaders complain that people don't listen to them. Well, they'll listen when they have no other choice, right? Now, think about this. How many times have you launched into a situation, a new thing you want to do in your life or in your company or for your own self, where you haven't been all in? Think about the how much more effective you are when you actually are all in, when you actually have burned the boats and smashed your own cooking pots.